we'd like to welcome to the podium Governor Tommy Thompson of Wisconsin and Shirley Merit for a presentation with regard to the program Wisconsin Works, and of course from the state of Wisconsin.
Good morning. I wish to thank David Gergen, board members, the Ford Foundation, and the John F. Kennedy School of Government for their vision and their generosity. I'm honored to present Wisconsin Works, commonly called W2, as a finalist for the Ford Foundation's Innovations in American Government Award. The state of Wisconsin serves as one of our country's most prodigious laboratories of democracy, devising and implementing the ideas and ideals that improve the human condition. And in doing so, I present W2 not only as a great example of creative problem solving in the public sector, but as the most far-reaching change in American social policy in 60 years. In 1935, Franklin Roosevelt said, to dole out relief is to administer a narcotic, a subtle destroyer of the human spirit. How prophetic. For far too many years, welfare assumed the responsibility for the financial needs of families, stripping parents of their self-esteem and robbing children of a good future. W2, America's first welfare replacement program, grew out of our experience of implementing no less than 10 major welfare reform initiatives during a decade of innovation. And although W2's basic tenet is work, its innovation lies not only in its purpose, but in its planning. In one-on-one discussions with welfare recipients, I asked them point blank, what is it you need? What kind of tools can we help you with to enter the workforce and stay employed? The poignant responses I received helped to formulate the unparalleled level of support contained in this revolutionary program. Services such as ample child care, transportation, high-quality health care, and extensive job training. We even went so far as to create a new cabinet-level state agency to direct the day-to-day operations. And while W2 is all-encompassing, it is also continually evolving. The program is not static. It's changing and incorporating new initiatives that address substance abuse, advanced employment skills, and employment. In essence, W2 represents more than altering the way in which services are delivered on how a specific program is administered. It represents a complete departure from the status quo, a fundamental shift in public policy away from the callousness of maintaining the welfare culture which had sadly become entrenched in our society. Concurrent with our state's efforts, Congress passed the 1996 Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act. In truth, roughly 80% of the federal legislation is modeled after W2. So the question whether W2 can be replicated has been answered. How often and to what degree is the program currently being used as a model is a more appropriate inquiry. Wisconsin has become a magnet for program administrators and elected officials wishing to duplicate our successes. I have personally traveled across the United States and around the world, from Germany to New Zealand, to lecture on the topic. Even Minister Alistair and Tony Blair, the British Prime Minister, held W2 up as a model for welfare reform, proving that Wisconsin Works can and is being duplicated. And we know those leaving welfare are not only working, they are succeeding. Henry Ford, this foundation's namesake, once said, time and money spent in helping people do more for themselves is far more than mere giving. And with that, I introduce an individual who's a welfare recipient who will now tell you how W2 works.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. My name is Shirley Merit. I'm a mother of 6, and I have 5 grandbabies, 3 of which live with me. I'm currently employed at Bowling Inc. as a customer service representative. And I enjoy my job because now I can provide for my family, whereas I couldn't before. Okay. This is what do I think of W2 and Governor Tommy Thompson. W2 did save my life. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, I'm nervous. Okay. What do I think of W2 and Governor Tommy Thompson? Can I get a glass of water, please? A glass of water.
You take your time. We're just so pleased you're here.
I'm so nervous.
And you were good to come, and we're going to be interested in hearing a little more about your life story. So Shirley, you just thank you again for coming.
The Governor, Tommy Thompson, he has made necessary changes to the W-2 so that all participants can be self-sufficient. And Tommy did ask me what did I think of the W-2. And I told him that it needed to be replicated throughout the nation so that all single mothers would have the chance to live out their lives with dignity and respect. And show others, especially their children, that hard work and dedication, to your job and your family, what does pay off. I'm here to say that. In fact, I've been working full time, and now I have the opportunity to buy my home, whereas I didn't even think that this would happen in my lifetime. And to all employers that may be deciding, should I give a Shirley Merit a chance for a real job? Remember, the W-2 moms, we are survivors. As many of us have endured the domestic abuse, drug abuse, homelessness, absentee dads, and the AFDC. W-2 has given me the opportunity to grow as a person and has taught me about making healthy, positive choices for my life and my children. Now I choose not to be abused. I choose not to do drugs. I choose not to be homeless. And I choose to work hard and be successful. I choose to build my life for my children in spite of an absentee dad. I will succeed, and I will continue to do so because W-2 has taught me to become self-sufficient. I now choose to be a person just like all of you, winners, and contributing to our society. And I thank you for having me here today to let me tell my story.
Right. Antonia.
I want to ask Shirley, what kind of support were you given to prepare you for the workforce?
We were given its empowerment class. It was a 2-week empowerment class at the Academy of Excellence that was located in our region. It builds your self-esteem. It lets you know the things that you can do that you never ever thought that was possible under the welfare W-2 system.
We provide health care, we provide daycare, we provide transportation, we provide training. We have expanded the program so completely that we've gone from daycare from $12 million to $180 million. We provide complete medical coverage, and all we require is for everybody to go to work. Daycare is provided for anybody that wants to work.
What about job training?
Job training is included in every one of our programs, completely. And we train them for the kind of jobs that are available in that particular locale. We have job centers in which every job that's available in the state of Wisconsin is online. You can go in there and you can find out what kind of jobs you want, what kind of skills you need, and we train you for the skills that that particular job needs for you.
Governor Thompson, the Federal Welfare Reform Act in essence allowed states to exempt 20% of their caseload from the cutoff.
That is correct. We did not.
And as I understand it, the theory was that some percentage of the caseload would not be able to work for one reason or another, couldn't qualify for the federal Social Security assistance program, and therefore would simply have no recourse. Why did Wisconsin decide not to use that 20% exemption?
Because we believe everybody should have the opportunity to work. We believe that every person can work. We started out with 100,000 families in 1987. We are now down to 7,800 families, a 92% reduction. And all of those individuals, to the best of our knowledge, are working or are somewhat employed. We have, since we started W-2, we've reduced it by 77%. The 7,800 families that we have left, 80-some% are in Milwaukee County, about 70% are minorities, 66% have alcohol and drug abuse, or a combination of both, in which we provide also alcohol and drug abuse treatment for those families. We also provide schooling and education. We also take care of the children through daycare, as well as also preparing them for school.
I think we all would agree this has been a very effective and impressive program in terms of reducing the caseload and getting people back to work. There are, as I'm sure you realize, some skeptics of the program, and it would suggest...
Fewer all the time, Bill.
Right. They would argue that there may be people falling through the cracks. That in fact, there's some evidence that people on food stamps have increased and that the homeless shelters have increased. Do you have any way of tracking, people who may fall off the edge?
When we started, we did not, Bill, but now we track everybody. And in my budget that I just received from the legislature, we're putting an extra $25 million into tracking everybody up to 6 months afterwards. And we're also going back in when somebody has trouble with that job, we retrain them for another job. And sometimes you have an individual that we may train for that job that finds out, just like everybody else in society, that doesn't work out in that, and we try and train them for another job that may be available, and that has worked out extremely well.
Bill, do you have a follow-up?
That's why the program is ongoing, and it's not static. It keeps evolving all the time.
Part of the reasons the welfare rolls have come down is because of the economy. What happens to the Wisconsin program when we hit a recession?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that question, but we also found that in the state of Wisconsin, when our welfare caseloads were also plummeting, our economy was not as strong as some other states. So we felt that the direct attention to the welfare caseworker actually reduces the level. And I ask you, to answer your question, I ask you a rhetorical question. If you're an employer and Elizabeth has never worked a day in their life before and is on welfare, and Dave Gergen was on welfare but is working, and you only have one job available, who are you going to hire? You're going to hire the person that has the experience. And that's why W-2 is going to be able to continue to work, because the Shirley Merits have experience. And so when the next job available, when the downturn comes, they will have the experience, will be able to walk in, will have a much better opportunity to show that employer that they've worked before and have the experience. That's what's so beautiful about W-2.
I just want to pursue for a moment what you said, Governor, about that you are going to be able to keep track of the people who may not be working. And Jason DeParle's piece in last Sunday's New York Times said that
the New York Times has a reporter in Wisconsin all the time,
right,
hoping to find something wrong.
One of the things he said was that people who are addicted and people with mental health problems are just disappearing. And I'm wondering whether, if you were to come back next year, you would know more about the people who are not, in fact, being able to support themselves.
See, our whole W-2, the whole essence of W-2 is to continue to evolve and give the case managers the opportunity to work with their clients. And we're learning more each day. So, of course, I will know more in 365 days. In another 6 months, we'll know that much more. But I can tell you that where we're tracking, 83% have jobs and continue to work.
Shirley, did you have a response to that, by the way, your sense of the future under this? Do you worry about the future of people falling through the cracks?
No. No, I don't.
Just what?
See, no, I don't. But I've seen more above the ground than I have in the cracks.